beautiful people. It's getting cold outside. It's the perfect time to cuddle up with a cup of tea to warm you up and strengthen your immune system. Are you ready to receive the potent medicine that the herbs have to offer? I hope so, because today's episode of Apothecary Wisdom, I want to share with you 4 of my favorite herbal tea blends to support you during the cold and flu season. And I created these teas on purpose, and they're very distinctive teas. One I want to talk to you about is going to be a general immune tea. And then another one is specifically to help dry up wet coughs. Another one is to help you have a productive cough. And then the other one is to help keep you strong and steady the whole season. And so I'm so glad you're here watching us live, and I'm so glad you're here, and I invite you to leave comments and ask questions and hearts and thumbs up. The thing is, this is a live video, and I'm in front of the camera and Heaven's behind the camera, and I can't see the comments. But ask your questions, and then after the video's over, then I can go back in and answer them, okay? So I invite you to ask questions and share your wisdom. And if you're watching this later, listening later on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to our channel, ring the bell, especially if you like videos about birth and herbs and women's health and empowerment. And on SoundCloud, push like. Yeah, I love it when you do that. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Maria Chaudhary, and I'm a midwife and herbalist and the creator of Birthsong Botanicals. And we make tons of herbal products, nourishing herbal teas and baths and tinctures and salves, all committed and dedicated to help women and children and to keep you healthy. Okay? So this video is going to be about herbal teas, and I want to start with an invitation and really a reminder about brewing a cup of tea. Because really, brewing a cup of tea is a simple act. It can be seen as a ritual. It can be really seen as a promise to yourself to take a pause, to connect with your body, to heal, to recover, to breathe, right? Oftentimes we're so busy that we just don't really even think about it, so the simple act gets overlooked. But this is a perfect opportunity to connect with your body and to connect with the bigger picture, right? The 4 elements, to connect with fire and water and air and earth, right? Because teas are organoleptic, or they're also sensual. I like the word sensual because they stimulate your senses. And what I mean by that is I can taste the flavor. I can smell the aroma. I can see the beauty, right? I can hear the water being poured into the cup. I can feel the warmth in my mouth and in my hands. And so then I connect deeper in with the 4 elements and with my body and with my breath. And that's how healing happens. And you're watching this video because you want to know about herbs for cough, cold, and flu. That means you're trying to recover or not get sick, right? So that's an aspect of healing. And I also wanted to share a really brief overview of the distinctions between teas, infusions, and decoctions. And I want to do that because if you're sick with a cold and flu and you're turning to herbs, you want the herbs to work, right? And in order for them to work, you need to know how to work with them properly and how to make them appropriately so they'll be effective. Okay? So in brief, a tea is made out of the aerial parts of the plant, meaning the parts that grow above ground. The leaves and the soft stems and the flower blossoms and the aromatic seeds, right? That's the aerial parts. And those parts have volatile oils and they lend themselves really easy to water. Okay? So there are a couple of types of teas. So let's just do this. There is a pleasant cup of tea. right? And so a pleasant cup of tea, when you make it, you're going to use a tea bag, right? Or you're going to make a loose leaf tea, and you're going to use a teaspoon of the herbs for 8 ounces of water, and you're going to cover it and let it steep for about 5 minutes. As soon as the cup is cool enough to hold, then you're ready to drink it. That is a pleasant cup of tea. But see, you have a cough, cold, or flu, so you need a medicinal tea or a therapeutic tea. And so you're not going to make it with 1 tea bag or a teaspoon. You're going to use a tablespoon. So 1 therapeutic cup of tea, you make 1 tablespoon, and oftentimes I make mine heaping tablespoon, to 8 ounces of water. Cover it and let steep for about 5 minutes. And then you drink 3 cups of those a day, and then you have a therapeutic tea. Okay? Now, an infusion is so similar, but the distinctions are important. The only differences between an infusion and a tea is that an infusion, you use more herbs and you let it steep longer. So for an infusion, you could do 1 to 4 tablespoons. But I tend to not make my infusions in a cup. I usually use a quart jar, and I should have a quart jar right here. But I use 1 to 4 tablespoons, absolutely 4 tablespoons of herbs to a quart jar, cover it and let steep. Now, if you cover it and let it steep for 5 minutes, well, that's really a tea. If you let it steep for 20 minutes, now you're making an infusion. But if you want to make a potent, strong infusion, then let it steep for about an hour or several hours. The longer it steeps, the stronger it's going to get. And then you can drink a quart or 2 quarts a day, depending on how sick you are. That is more of an infusion, okay? And then it's really important, before I segue off, I want to say it's important that you cover your tea or cover your infusion, because those volatile oils, that steam that smells so pleasant, that's the volatile oils, and that's where the therapeutic medicine is. And so when you cover it, when you look at your cup later, you'll see like a sheen or an oil over the top of your tea. That's where the medicine is. So you've captured it. So that's really important. So keep it covered, okay, to collect the oils. Now, a decoction is a little bit different. A decoction is made from the parts that grow under the ground, or the bark, or the stems, the woody parts, or the thick seeds. So the medicine is really potent, but you're going to have to coax it out. You're going to have to pull it out. You're going to have to cook it out. And there's lots of ways to make decoctions. This is one way, and this is how I do it. I use the same amount of herbs that I would for an infusion, meaning a tablespoon or several tablespoons. And I put it in my cooking pot, and I fill my pot with cool water. And then I cover it, and I slowly bring my pot to boil. Gentle boil. And once it's boiling, I turn it down a little bit more, and I softly simmer it for about 20 minutes. And then I turn the heat off. It stayed covered the whole time. And then I let it infuse or steep for another 20 minutes or an hour. The longer it steeps, the better. And then now I have a very potent herbal decoction. Okay? You'll understand why that's really important when I get into sharing my herbs with you. So go ahead, in your comments, let me know, did you know the differences between teas and infusions? And do you make each cup of tea a ritual and a promise to yourself? Put it in the comments. Okay, the first tea, I have 4 teas I want to share with you. The first tea is called immune tea. Now, immune tea is a general tea, meaning it's broad-reaching. It's going to be good for children, for pregnancy, for breastfeeding, for elderly, pretty much for everyone. It's blended with chamomile, elderberry, echinacea, and peppermint. And so these herbs are all infection fighters, and they are also really powerful fever reducers. And when you have a cold, you kind of want to feed a cold, yet your digestion is off. And so these herbs will also help improve your digestion so you can absorb your food and you can absorb the medicinal properties of the herbs. Also, when you have a cold or you have have the flu, your body aches, like you have tension in your body. And the chamomile is going to help relieve the tension so you can sleep better. It's going to help reduce your fever. And then also, if you drink it at night, more than likely when you wake up the next day, you'll have a very nice cleansing bowel movement that's going to help rid your body of the toxins. Okay? So you're going to brew that tea as a tea or as an infusion. Okay? The other thing I just want to say really quickly is echinacea. Echinacea is one of the herbs that's a principal herb. As soon as you feel like you're getting sick, that's the herb that you want to drink a bunch of right off the bat. It's going to be the most effective at the beginning of an illness rather than waiting until you've been sick for a while. Okay, now the next one is lung support tea. And now lung support tea is very different. Yes, it helps general wellness, but this tea is blended specifically to help dry up wet lungs, to help clear sinuses and dry up ear congestion and lung congestion. And when you have thick mucus and you want to clear your airways and clear your nasal passages, that's what lung support tea is. And it's blended with mullein and yarrow and sage and peppermint. And so it's very aromatic, and it's light, and it's uplifting, and it's purifying, and it's detoxifying. You have all this phlegm and all this stuff you need to get out, filled with toxins. And so you're trying to cleanse your body. Also, it is, like I said, very aromatic. So when you steep your tea or make your infusion, you know, I say keep it covered. You want to do that. However, if you have a lot of congestion, you could uncover it and put a towel over your head and inhale the vapors from your infusion, and that'll help clear up your congestion. And then when it's cool enough, you can drink your tea. Okay? So this lung support is not intended for pregnancy, and it's not intended for breastfeeding moms. Okay? And now the next one that I want to share with you is roots and fruits. Now this is a whole different tea. This tea is to help you when you're having an unproductive cough. You're having a dry, hacking cough that is just not getting anywhere. It's irritating you, right? So you want to moisten the cough. You kind of want to create a little mucus with it so you can grip it and you can cough and it can productively leave your body, right? So this, I use the word tea, but I should go back, and this is a decoction. If you notice the other two tea bags, they were filled, they were light, airy parts. Those are teas and infusions. This one you're going to have to make as a decoction. All these 3 bags are filled with 3 ounces of herbs. What you see, the first 2, they're bulging at the seams, and then you see roots and fruits. It's not even halfway full because it's dense, right? But that means it's concentrated. And so it is blended with Oregon grapefruit, elderberries, rose hips, licorice root, and ginger. So we know about elderberry. We know it's well studied, antiviral, very powerful, right? Rose hips is high in vitamin C, so it's going to be a general immune booster, and it's just going to support your vascularity, and like you're coughing and you might get runny nose and you might get like a little bit of bloody nose. Everything is dry, so you need your vascular strength. And then Oregon grapefruit is a powerful herbal, antimicrobial. It's a replacement almost for golden seal. And then licorice root is a harmonizing peacemaker herb. So it helps soften things and moisten things, and it tastes really good. And then the other one is ginger root. Ginger root is going to help stimulate and warm your body and circulate your body so that you can break a fever. All of these herbs are helping you break a fever, detoxify your body, clear lung infection, and help you have a productive cough. Okay? So that is roots and fruits. And when I make it at home, I make it as a decoction, and after I drink the first batch, I just add more cool water and I make it again. And I usually get a round and sometimes 2 rounds out of the same herbs. Okay? And then the last one, okay, I'll admit is not the first one I would go to when I think about cough, cold, or flu. And that's Women's Balance. And it's an herbal tea for immune, and it's an herbal tea for stress relief, and it's an adaptogenic tea. However, it is the first tea that I think about when I'm thinking about entering into the cold and flu season, to bolster me up so that I have a strong immune system, that I can cope with and deal with stress, so that I can sleep well at night. We know when we're out of whack, when we're overwhelmed and depleted, we're more susceptible to infection. So we want to bolster ourselves up ahead of time, right? So that we're prepared for the infection and for the season. So Women's Balance is blended with nourishing herbs for your vitamins and minerals. It's blended with adaptogenic herbs. And think of them as synergizing and energizing and harmonizing to your body to help you cope with all the things I just mentioned. And then it has echinacea. Remember, that's the first herb to drink when you feel like you're getting sick. It's a powerful infection fighter. It's a fever reducer. It has lemon balm. So lemon balm is going to help with your body aches and pains. Also another powerful antiviral, another fever reducer. It has elderflowers, wonderful tasting, very pleasurable tasting herb, and at the same time fever reducer, infection fighter, immune supporter. And what else does it have? It has ginger root. It has ginger to stimulate your circulatory system, help reduce a fever, help you absorb all your other therapeutic properties of the herbs. And so it may not be the first blend you're thinking about when you're in the thick of a cough, cold, or flu, like you would need to have your lung support tea or your roots and fruits tea. But it's the tea to drink if you're feeling like you might be getting sick. And it's the tea to drink as you're recovering from your illness so that you can recover faster. So those are my 4 teas that I wanted to share with you today. I sincerely hope that you and your loved ones get to spend this cold and flu season or this holiday season together with good conversations and endless cups of tea, and that you're happy, healthy, and wise, and that you don't get sick. But if you do get sick, see it as an opportunity to strengthen your immune system. It's just making you stronger, just making you better. It's helping you pause. You get to learn about herbs now. You get to have a ritual, right? See, finding the positiveness is going to help you recover quicker. If you want to learn more about how to make teas and lots of herbal remedies, then I have a free course for you. It's linked below. It's called Herbs for Kids, ebook and free online course. And I invite you to enroll. Also, remember, if you're dealing with fevers and earaches and congestion and coughs and colds and all of it, we have playlists both on YouTube and on SoundCloud for you, and they're already all set up. All the information you need is right there. And my friends, I enjoy spending time with you. Thank you for coming. I'll see you in the next video. I ask that you like this video and subscribe to our channel. And until next time, drink deep and always walk in beauty.